Good afternoon. I am sitting here with instructional coach Todd Bittorf and myself, Shannon Soger, instructional director in Brookwood South. We are reflecting on today's site visit. Today is March 31st, 2015. We had some visitors from, just under 20 visitors from Brookwood School District 167. Actually, this was their third time, correct? Third time coming on a site visit to Brookwood South. And we also had some visitors from Christ the King, a Catholic school out in Chicago, who heard about us because their principal used to work in Orland Park, and their district had been out on a visit before, and Michelle Thorne now works over in that district. Anyway, so that's how Christ the King got connected with us. And then finally we had a representative from Mac to school attend the debriefing. So today we visited Hiawatha Elementary School and Heritage Middle School. Todd, can you tell us a little bit about the demographics or kind of what this group was like today?
What struck me more than anything perhaps was the diverse nature of the group. We had a real nice variety of administrators, teachers of course, that made up the majority of our group, but we also had tech directors and even a parent today. So the kids were amazing once again. They really engaged our guests in conversation nonstop throughout the day. Every moment they were in the classrooms, it was really, really great.
Which is great because we always encourage the participants, like, go and talk to the kids, ask them what they're doing, talk to the teachers. And I think that this particular group was a little bit further than that entry level of, I just want to see it. What does it look like? Right. Both of these schools were either on their way to one-to-one pilots or had access to carts, iPad carts, MacBook carts, or a couple of devices as centers in their rooms, or they were prepping for, they knew that they were going to be one-to-one next year at their grade level. So I felt like this group, they kind of kept saying, oh, I want to see the schedule. I want to see what they do all day long. How much time are they spending on the devices? What are they doing besides, using the devices for substitution or playing a game? So this group, I feel like, was just a little bit further beyond than just wanting to just see it in action.
Great questions, for sure.
Along those lines of these amazing things that we were seeing in the classroom, though, is there a particular teacher that kind of struck out to you at Heritage who kind of just wowed our visitors or yourself today?
Well, certainly lots of deserving teachers, but a hands down easy answer for me is James Larson. He was doing just a fantastic job explaining to our guests how he uses blend space with his kids. Our guests were so captivated by his description and live examples that he was using with his kids at the moment. I'd be very surprised if almost the entire group went back to school this afternoon and started using blend space themselves. He did a great selling job.
To piggyback off of that, we actually got to see Todd's daughter over at Heritage, and she was telling all the visitors in Mr. Bertoletti's classroom about how wonderful blend space is for self-guided lessons. So she got that from her teachers. But blend space was definitely the talk of this group after leaving Heritage. I'd like to also give a shout out over to Lori Horn at Hiawatha. The excitement from Miss Horn and her fourth grade students when you walked in the room was just high end. They were doing a research project, and they were researching a character from the American Revolution. And we've got spring break next week, so after spring break, these students are actually going to perform in a wax museum. So they're going to be their character, and press their button, and they'll come to life. But along with this research focus and learning about the character is that Miss Horn, which I had no idea, she writes parodies. And so she wrote, she showed us a couple of her math parodies, but she wrote a parody, recorded it in her GarageBand, and then the students are going to be reading those lyrics, and they're making a music video using iMovie when they return from break, all about the American Revolution. And she was just holding up her laptop and playing these different songs, and all the visitors, we were all just kind of crowded around her. And then very quietly, all of a sudden, you start hearing the other kids singing along to the music in the background. So she was just so passionate about what she was talking about, and a great way to integrate Pages and iMovie and GarageBand all into, and then physically coming to life as a wax museum, all together in one American Revolution project. So awesome job, Ms. Horn. It was great popping into your room.
So our debriefing session afterwards was another pleasant success. Once again, a lot of great conversation. And I'd like to thank Christina Betts, Julianne LaFleur, and Karen Marino from Hiawatha for joining us, as well as Superintendent Stan Fields, also stopped in for some great advice to for our guests as well.
Definitely. And a closing with encouraging everyone to come back for iEngage. A lot of the visitors, we'll read our favorite quote in just a second, but just about on all of their evaluations, what typically happens in the evaluations, teachers say, I wish I had more time. I want to spend more time in classrooms, or I teach first grade. I wish I could have spent 30 minutes in first grade room rather than 5 or 7 or 10 minutes. And so, Dr. Fields did a great job of bringing everybody back into the end and welcoming our visitors back and anyone back for our iEngage conference May 8th and May 9th of this year. May 8th is a site visit. You get to pick which 2 schools you want to go to, as well as listen to a lunchtime keynote given by Carl Hooker. And guests can actually spend some extra time in a first grade or third grade classroom during that site visit part. And then on Saturday is a conference led by our own staff. So take a look at our iEngage Berwyn website if you haven't been there recently. So to kind of close up here with a great site visit, Todd and I like to share our favorite quote, and this is from Kim, who is our representative today that came from Mac to School. And she said, amazing experience. Every student was actively engaged and invested. Loved that they could articulate the whats, whys, and hows of their experience. Berwyn South School District 100 is truly an example of a wonderful learning environment. Thank you to all the staff and administration for being so open and welcoming. Wow. That about says it right there. So thanks, Hiawatha and Heritage, for letting us come for a visit, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.